views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Yes, indeed. We've got it going on for you. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning of the Dr. Bob Lee. I've got another fantastic show for you. Welcome to Open BX RX. In fact, coming up on today's show, well, let's see. We'll hear from a consultant who has mentored the best and the brightest in the entertainment industry as he shares some hidden gems on achieving success. Then we'll speak to a local artist who will share her latest work. After that, we'll spotlight an organization that is providing supportive services, resources, and programs for people in our community. Then Bobby C is on deck. He's ready to hit that home run. He has the latest in the world of sports. And finally, we'll sit down with a recording artist and college professor to learn about how music and technology can work together. All of this and more is headed your way. We're going to give it to you like we owe you something. That's how we're going to do it. Here we go. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is a renowned producer, consultant, and mentor. He does a whole lot, and he's done a whole lot in the past. And he's here with us today to talk about how he has spotted and mentored some of the most talented artists in the entertainment industry. And he shares some hidden gems too. You don't want to miss it. And he talks about how you can achieve success. So please welcome to the show, Mark Schoenfeld. Mark, how are you? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Dr. Bob Lee. What a pleasure to be with you. Pleasure to be back in the Bronx through virtual.
There you go. And perhaps we'll get together and we'll be able to sit down and talk and break some bread also.
That will happen. That will one day happen soon.
Now, you've been through a whole lot. You said you started in the music business at age 18 or 16? Tell us about it.
At 18, there was an ad in the New York Times for a co-writer for a guy named Erwin Levine, who was in 1650 Broadway, which is the music building.
Oh, I used to go there to get records and get records done.
Yeah,
they had a Sunshine Records on, I think it was the 8th floor or something like that, and you can go and burn a platter. But go ahead.
Yes, I mean, it's the Brill Building in 1650 Broadway was the music business. That's
yes.
And there was a line around the block, and back then it was only guys with guitars. We all answered the ad in the New York Times. My mother was the one who told me about the ad. I wasn't reading the New York Times, and you had to have an original song or two. And I'm waiting in line. And as I'm waiting in line, it's around the block. And as I'm getting closer, I could hear that people are singing and they sing great. And I'm not a singer. And they're playing and they're finger picking. And I can play 4 chords, you know. And I said, I don't have a chance. I got to get off this line. But I stayed. Something kept me there. I stayed, and I could tell that people never finished their song. They were in and out within 40 seconds.
Wow,
And so I go in, and the guy's about just 8, 9 years older than me. His name is Erwin Levine. And at that time, he had a song on the radio. Bob, you might remember this song. I'm much older than you, but you still might remember. It was a hit. It was called Black Pearl, Pretty Little Girl.
Yeah.
And he also had another song called This Diamond Ring by Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
Okay.
Another song. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my mother and my sister were big record collectors. So we had lots of music being played all the time. Yes.
He had another song with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So I go in, and he says, okay, play an original song. And I think it's not gonna happen for me. And I play him a song called Canada. And it's about me avoiding service, army service. I don't want to go to Vietnam. It's a really honest song because it says, if you hurt my mother, I can kill you. It's not that I can't kill you. I can kill you. But I don't want to go to this place and get killed. I'm chicken. And I'm going to go to Canada and avoid all. And as I'm playing it, I realize he's not kicking me out like everyone else. And I finish and he goes, I love it. I absolutely love it. And he says, do you have another one? I said, I do. I have another one. What's it called? Canada. Same song? No, different song, same subject.
Yeah.
Same subject because I have more to say, but I made a different song. And by the way, I only played one chord, E minor. That's it. One chord. And I would bang the guitar like this, bang the strings like this. And he said, go into that room over there and play me, write this for me. And he played this song by the Turtles called Imagine Me and You. I do, Happy Together.
Yeah, Happy Together.
Yes. He said, write me that. And he sends me into another room. It has a piano. I bring my guitar. And he says he'll keep auditioning people. And all I did was invert the chords. So I figured out the chords in my head, which were the same 4 chords that I knew, and just inverted them and wrote a song called Summer Snow. So I picked my head out and I said, I'm done. He stops the audition. He brings me in. I play this song called Summer Snow. He says, you're hired. All of a sudden, after school every day, went to Evander High School in the Bronx.
Wow.
After school every day, I go into Manhattan to 1650 Broadway, and I'm working with him. And there's Carole King and Neil Sedaka and Neil Diamond and all these guys and girls that are writing songs. And I'm working with them. And that's how it all started with me.
Wow. That's great. Now, are you still in contact with some of them?
No, I mean, I got Erwin Levine. I actually quit because at that time I couldn't take having a boss, and he was making me write, you know, teeny bopper songs, right? Like Happy Together, like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
That's exactly what they called them back then, right?
Yes.
Teeny bopper song.
So I quit, but he went on to write all the songs for Tony Orlando and Dawn, Knock 3 Times, and
On the Ceiling If You Want Me.
Got it. And Candida, and Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree. He became very, very rich and very successful. And I thought my life was over. But I learned something from that experience. Why did I get in and all those other people in line didn't?
Exactly.
They were better than me. There's no doubt they were better than me. But what they weren't was they weren't unique. He was never going to take that song Canada. It wasn't going to get on the radio. It was a protest song. But it was completely unique to, if I would have written Summer Snow, which is what he took to sign me, I wouldn't have gotten in. It was that I wrote a song that was unique, and that's what he liked.
Yeah,
and
it spoke to what was happening at the time, though.
Yes, exactly. And then he molded me to say, well, the money is in teeny bop, the songs, not in what you're writing. But what he loved was the uniqueness of how I banged that guitar and what I wrote. So there's a lesson that I learned.
We need a whole hour for you because I know you're a wealth of information, and I would love to sit down and talk to you forever, you know?
Yes.
But tell us about what you're doing now, and what is the key to what you're doing?
So what I'm doing now, I wrote a Broadway musical. I sold 5 scripts to Hollywood. They called me the pitch man of Hollywood. So that's all in my past. And in my old age now, what I do is I'm a consultant to people that are trying to get in to the different lanes of show business.
Because you've been there, you've worked with a lot of the record companies, a lot of the film organizations. Tell us about those organizations before you talk about that key.
Yes. So the thing is that I know what they're looking for. And what they're looking for is the average person that believes they have the talent and the it factor or the star quality. They don't understand what these film companies and production companies, studios, and the record labels, I'm not talking about, YouTube and TikTok and that. I'm talking the traditional showbiz. They are looking for something, and most people don't know. So I'm sure, Barb, that you have a lot of people who are so talented, but they sound like something else that's already happening. And that is the kiss of death. So if you're a rapper, and I'm only bringing up rapping because of the Bronx, because I know it started there. If you're
there you go.
right, if you're a rapper and you sound like what is happening right now, and you want to get signed to a major record label, it's not going to happen.
So if you sound too commercial, that's not what they're looking for.
If you're following a trend, it won't happen. You have to bust that trend, break that trend, and come up with something unique. So what I do now is I am a finder of stars, and then I'm a maker of stars.
There you go.
But everyone can't be a star. So it's a secret to what it takes to be a star. Because in the end, they're not looking for someone that's great. They're looking for someone that has star quality, which doesn't mean you have to be great.
Yeah. And some of the companies that you've worked for in the past, you worked with Michael Jackson.
I worked for Capitol Records, EMI, Manhattan, Motown, Epic, as an executive and as a producer writer. And as far as movies, I worked for Orion Pictures, or Warner Brothers, DreamWorks, Disney, and it goes on.
And you had some extensive business partners. Who were they?
Oh, absolutely. Well, you always make friends with everyone you work for, right? So the guy who taught me so much is the former president of Epic Records. He signed Michael Jackson away from Motown. His name is Ron Alexenberg. Freddie DeMann was my partner in a business together where we're finding talent, and he managed Madonna, Michael Jackson, Shakira, back in the day, Earth, Wind and Fire, or Lionel Richie, the Commodores, legendary people. Hugh Jackman was my partner.
Woo!
Broadway, I had a Broadway musical in 2004. It wasn't called the Bronx, it was called Brooklyn. But it wasn't about Brooklyn. It was about a girl named Brooklyn. And that toured all over the world. So my network is extensive. I was signed by Jeffrey Katzenberg at DreamWorks, Len White at Orion Pictures. So, I can contact any of these guys if I find someone with the right script or the right talent.
Fair enough. Mark, we thank you and appreciate you, and you're always welcome back. This is your home.
Thank you. Pleasure, my friend. Pleasure.
Yes. Mark Schoenfeld, talent finder and consultant. He is looking, and he has the information. You have to, whatever you do, you have to get the knowledge of what to do, what to say, and how to be. And he's been through it. He'll take you to it. All right. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a break. More open on the way. Next. welcome back. Welcome back. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. And our next guest is a local artist who's here with us to highlight her latest collage series titled Happiness Is Just Around the Bend. No, but it's here. And she's going to display all of that stuff in a site-specific location that she's going to have this art exhibition. So she's going to tell us all about that. Welcome to the show, Blanka Amezcua. Blanka, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, you started all this in your bedroom, did I hear? Tell us about it.
I did actually. I initiated a project back in 2008 called the Bronx Blue Bedroom Project.
Yeah.
And I actually did invite people to artists to exhibit in the intimacy of my bedroom here in South Bronx.
Yeah. And you called it what? The BBBP?
Yep, the Bronx Blue Bedroom Project, because the bedroom was painted blue.
Yeah. And then you went from there. Tell us about how you got to it.
So then from the bedroom, I decided to I wanted to take my bedroom back. So I decided to open it up and invite artists to the project that I currently have is now in the living room, and it's called Alexander Avenue Apartment 3A. It's AAAA 3A, the acronym for my address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't forget that.
No.
Good name. So you went from there. You're inviting people to where you live to participate in your art, right?
Correct. I mean, I normally don't exhibit the art in my personal work in the space, but because of the pandemic, and because I actually had work that I initiated before the pandemic and during, I thought it was a good opportunity to just use the space as my studio. So that's what I'm doing right now until September.
Yeah. Were you able to create more or be more productive during the pandemic?
I had more time to be inside my apartment. So yeah, I was able to actually continue the work, some work that I had initiated before the pandemic. And I was able to just finish and create new work.
Who are some of those artists that you've interacted with?
Well, I mean, I interact with a lot of artists, being an artist myself, but I mean, I've exhibited work by local artists such as Olga Correa, who actually currently has a show at Casita Maria, which I highly recommend that you go check out. And she will be also speaking in June, so look for her at Casita Maria and get all the information. I've exhibited work by Linda Bonilla and Luis Pagan, who happen to be an amazing art couple that are based here in the Bronx as well. Who else? Paul Lambermont, a very good friend of mine who's an educator at Museo del Barrio. He's been there for many, many years. And I don't really know someone who loves children as much as Paul does. I've also, when I moved to Hunts Point, I moved because I was offered or invited to teach on Oneida Street, very close to the point. And I taught middle school there for almost 5 years. And one of my students was Amauris Grullon, who happens to have Bronx native.
Yeah.
Very close to where I am.
Look at that. Small world, huh?
Very small world.
So you have this new project, Happiness Is. Tell us about that. And I know there's a unique site where that's gonna be held.
So I've been creating works on paper, and before the pandemic and during, I extended a body of work that were collages that I've been creating through the use of remnants that are left behind by papel picado workshop participants of mine, and it's basically tissue paper. And I create these handheld tissue paper collages that I then use to create my large scale paintings. I was invited in March of this year to partake in something that's coming up at Riverside Park. It's a public art exhibition where 20 artists will be exhibiting different works. There will be, installations from metal, plastic. My pieces will be actually printed on a different material. Clearly, I'm not going to be exhibiting them on paper, but it's produced by the Riverside Park Conservancy, and it's curated by Karen Bravin. And this
Wow.
will take place, it's going to be, I'm very excited because I've never had
Yeah.
anything in public space like this. And it will happen, it will start on June 5th and it will end September 13th. So everybody's invited to please take a walk from 68th Street all the way to 145th on Riverside Park.
Come straight across, come down that ramp, that bridge, and come into
Yes.
the park, and that big display will be right there, right?
Yes, my location is very close to a children's playground on close to 75th Street. So please, I invite everyone to come on, especially now that, once the weather is nice, you can just take a stroll and feel safe. You're in public space and enjoying some amazing artwork.
Yeah, I can see that you lit up when you spoke about this, Blanka. You said, wow, we're going to be finally out there, and we're going to open things up. And I'm going to display a lot of my wonderful work that I've been working on over the years.
I'm very excited. Like I said, this is actually the first time I'm doing this. So the entire process of seeing actually my work, when it's something very small and then you see it in large scale and it will also be outdoors, it just makes it much more democratic too. Anybody can access it. You don't need to go pay anything.
Yeah.
It's open, it's free. You just need to walk over to Riverside Park.
And did you say you took tissue paper that people left behind, that your artists left behind, and you made artwork out of it?
Correct.
How does that look? Can you give us a peep? It's way over there.
Oh, it's right here, but I need to get the sketchbook out. I actually was able to create these pieces. This is my sketchbook basically, and I was able to culminate the entire book thanks to Bronx Art Space, which happens to be around the corner from my place. I applied for a residency last year at Governor's Island, and I got it. So I was able to finish this book. So this is my collage book, and this is where I have my collages, which end up being my sketches for the actual for the larger pieces. So let me just show you what it looks like.
Oh, look at that. All right. Beautiful. Don't give it all away. We want to come out to the park and see you.
No, you have to come to the park. It's really going to be beautiful. Not because my work is included, but it really will be a beautiful, beautiful exhibit. It's also the Conservancy is celebrating 35 years of existence, so it's going to be a huge celebration. That's
wonderful. Do you have a website where we can go and see more before we get there?
Absolutely. Well, you can actually look at the Conservancy's website, the Riverside Park Conservancy, and I have some information in my website as well.
We want to prepare before we get there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, what is your website?
My personal website is BlankaAmezcua.com.
Thank you so much, Blanka. We appreciate you. Thank you for your wonderful work.
No, thank you. Thank you for
looking forward to checking it out too.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
All right. Blanka Amezcua. She's a fantastic artist, and it's going to be on display. You go to her website one more time. Her website is at
BlankaAmezcua.com.
All right. We'll take a break. We've got more coming up next right here on Open. Welcome back. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WPLS. We're inside of a fantastic show. Thank you for joining us. Our next guest is the Executive Director of Part of the Solution. She joins us to speak to us about the various services and resources her organization has to offer. So please welcome to the show, Christina Hanson. Christina, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. Now, you've come a long way. You joined in 2012, you joined POTS in 2012, and then in 2019, you became the executive director, and you came through the whole thing, and now it's a one-stop shop. Tell us about it. How did it happen? What did you go through?
Absolutely. So yes, POTS, we call ourselves a one-stop shop. We are here to serve the whole range of needs that somebody who's low income might need. We started in 1982, and at the time, we were founded as a loving community, a place where people could come together and eat. Specifically, at the time, it was more focused on the street homeless population. But over time, because we have this loving community where people come and they communicate with us and each other, and we create this community, it became very clear that there are other needs that people wanted addressed and that we could address. So as time went on, we gradually added more services. And now we have a very big range of services. So we still have a community dining room, though during the pandemic, we're handing out food to go. Hopefully we'll be able to switch back soon. We have a food pantry. We have shower programs so people can come and take a shower if they don't otherwise have access. If they don't have a mailing address, we can provide mail. If you need a haircut, we'll give you a haircut. And then we have a whole range of what we call our next step services. So helping people, maybe they're feeling an immediate crisis around food, but there are other things that would help them avoid needing food from us in the future. And so that could be access to public benefits like SNAP. It could be access to employment. It could be meeting their goals around education. We have mentors who will help people with those types of challenges. And or if, for those of us who have severe mental illness and just need a place to live, we can help with the supporting housing process. So the idea is anybody who comes to POTS, we'll serve them in a range of ways.
Sounds like a one-stop shop to me. And thank you for all those wonderful services you provide. You have a number of different locations, or what location can people come to participate?
We just have the one location. We're located in the Fordham-Bedford section of the Bronx, and we're on Webster Avenue, 2759 Webster Avenue, between 197th and 198th Street.
I know exactly where it is. So people can come from all over, right? People in need.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
We have no restrictions on who we serve.
Yeah, and how are you funded? Do you need funds from the community or from government or from elected officials or what?
Yeah, so POTS gets its funding we have diverse funding sources. So we get some from the government, from the state, a little bit from local. We get some funding from private foundations and private individuals. And fundraising is obviously always a need, looking for ways to pay for the services that we can provide to help strengthen our community is an important part of course, my role and something that we are always working to do.
Well, Christina, I always lend my camera out. I'm going to hand it over to you and let you just ask for what you need. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Great. So basically at this time, one of the really big things that we're seeing is we're getting lots and lots of calls around the issue of evictions. Many people, because of the pandemic, are behind on their rent. And that work is a big job, making sure that people can get access to the rent arrears they need, the legal support that they need, the advice they need, understanding all the changes that have happened over the year around housing law and what they can and cannot do because of the COVID pandemic. That's one area that we're seeing just an incredible amount of demand. And then the other area we're seeing the biggest demand is around our food pantry. We've more than doubled the meals that we serve from 1.1 million to 2.3 million meals last year. And that obviously has some costs associated with it. But we continue providing those meals this year. We're still running at the higher level. We want to make sure our community is as strong as possible and they have the resources they need to live a healthy life.
Yeah. Do you have something coming up that we can participate in or look forward to?
Absolutely. We have a virtual benefit coming up on May 26th. And we will be, if you come to our website, you can find out about that benefit. It's at 7 p.m. Anybody can join. It has no cost to participate. You can learn a little bit more about POTS and some people who've made it the strong organization it is today, about some of our clients. Please just
May the 26th.
May the 26th. It's a Wednesday.
And how do we log on? Can people just come, or how do we get the information to it?
So if you go to potsbronx.org, that's POTS website, or to any of our social media feeds, we're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can find us at POTS Bronx. And all those places, you'll find links to the website where you can register for the event.
And then when you log on to the event, and people are in it, what are we going to learn? What are we going to see? What do you have entertainment and everything?
Yes, we're planning for
food?
entertainment.
You have food? Let me ask if you have food.
It's a little hard to have food with a virtual benefit, but you can
Bring
just
your
eat
own
while
food,
you're
right?
watching. It's bring your own, yeah. BYO food. But yeah, so we'll have some entertainment. We'll be having some comedy entertainment, a little bit of musical entertainment. We'll have some short movies focusing on clients, on what we do here at POTS, and then also on our two honorees. Maureen Gomez, who has helped arrange our Thanksgiving meal service for many, many years, and also Chris Bean, who's our former executive director and really helped us grow POTS to the strong organization it is today.
Excellent. Okay, what's that website again that we can go to?
potsbronx.org. So POTSBRONX.org.
We appreciate you. There's a big problem out there, but there are solutions. So
Absolutely.
Be a part of the solution. POTS. POTS. Christina Hanson, the executive director. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you and we love you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
You got it. Bobby C. up next with the latest in the world of sports. On deck next.
Our guest this morning was drafted to the big leagues in the 14th round after his high school graduation. He was so impressive in the minor leagues, he earned MVP in the Gulf Coast League, Player of the Year honors in the Carolina League, and a legendary moment in West Virginia in the International League when he hit a home run out of the stadium into a moving train-cold car. The train itself traveled 150 miles to Columbus, Ohio. Having the proverbial longest home run in history isn't where his story stops either. Dave Parker was about the coolest show on turf in the 1970s and 80s, finishing his career with 339 homers, 2,712 hits, 2 batting titles, 7 All-Star games, 3 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Slugger awards, and an MVP in 1978, and to top it off, 2 World Series rings, including one in 1979 with the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates. And that's just some of the story. Good morning, Dave. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Dave, you recently released a book about your life and career that goes so far beyond the numbers. You candidly write about some of your mistakes in life and a drug problem that started as pain management and extended pretty much to the headlines at that time. You also detail your current battle with Parkinson's disease. You broke so many barriers and stereotypes in an 18-year career in baseball. What are you most proud of?
Well, the championship with the Pirates. The Pirates gave me the opportunity to play Major League Baseball. And being with the Pirates and the We Are Family team was basically the best team that I had played with. And they really were a family. We were very closely knit. We put together some flamboyant players and then made the Pirates the #1 team in America, I think.
Oh, absolutely. You know, so you end up earning the nickname the Cobra for your trademark, intimidating, bat-weaving, left-handed stance. You know, when was the first time that you can recall hearing that nickname?
Well, we had a trainer by the name of Tony Borderone, who was a big fight fan. And we had a heavyweight champion that was from Cincinnati called Ezra Charles. And Ezra Charles was called the Cincinnati Cobra. So with me being from Cincinnati, they put that tag on me, called me the Cincinnati Cobra. And Tony started it. Bob Prince, the announcer, made it famous.
I also thought it was cool in the book that you detail the fact that you played baseball growing up near Crosley Field, the old ballpark for the Reds, and even played stickball, a game here in the Bronx that I played. The kids today, nobody plays stickball. Everything is video games. But, you know, he ended up playing against the wall of the old ballpark and sold concessions there. Did you ever think that one day you'd actually be playing on a major league field?
Well, I dreamed about playing on a major league team. You know, most kids that grew up in their neighborhoods and had a major league team always dreamed of playing at the major league level. And I was just like those kids. I dreamed of playing at the major league level.
The cover jacket of the book, Dave, you know, has you in your Pirates uniform, but you also spent some really great times in other cities, which of course is detailed in the book, and that includes Cincinnati. What was it like to return home and play for Pete Rose?
It was great. It was great playing against Pete, and it was even greater playing with him. Pete played the game the way it should have been played, you know, at 100% every time he was on the field. It was a thrill being on the field when he broke the record.
So you finished your career with a 290 career average and also finished, you know, second in MVP voting in 1985. You win that World Series in 1989 with Oakland, serving pretty much as a DH and a veteran presence for the young Bash brothers. You know, I'm not really saying this, of course, because you're on with us, but you really did just about everything. You've accomplished everything in your baseball career. You know, definitely more than enough to merit going to Cooperstown. What would it mean to you to be enshrined there?
It would be nice. It would be nice for my family, my wife and my kids. But I don't know what else I could do to be considered a Hall of Famer. I was the best player in baseball for about half of the time I was in the major leagues. Did everything that you can do, batting titles, MVP, Silver Slugger, was considered the best player in the game. Was a hired gun in my latter years, playing with Oakland. They needed one player to get them over the hump. They got me, and I provided, you know, a service to them made them win 2 back-to-back world championships. So the Hall of Fame, I think I might rather have a plaque of guys I played with.
And you are already a member of the Reds Hall of Fame, the Cincinnati Public Schools Hall of Fame, and even several minor league Hall of Fames.
Yeah, I did everything you could do. I didn't leave no stone unturned. I played the game hard, was blessed with some outstanding speed, outstanding throwing arm. I had everything working for me, and I didn't squander it.
You know, the book also obviously details some things that are tough, I would say, for many to read, and that includes receiving racist and threatening notes during your professional career. We just celebrated Jackie Robinson Day in the month of April in baseball, but despite years rolling by, the climate in the world and perhaps even baseball really hasn't changed very much. Do you foresee the possibility that we could finally be addressing that?
Yeah, I hope so. And I think that sports do more for racial problems that we have in our society than any other industry. So I hope we're meeting a turn in the way society is and the way that we approach and deal with each other. Sports is going to be a key in it, and I see indications of it happening every day: football, basketball, and baseball.
I know you also work with youth in Ohio to grow the game of baseball. Do you think more young Black kids will decide to play the game? Because it's really been an issue in Major League Baseball.
Well, they need to promote the game more. You know, some of these stars that are getting this 300 million and 400 million should obligate themselves to promoting the game of baseball. I mean, we need some minorities in here. You know, we got a lot of Latin Americans, but there's very few African Americans that's playing it. And I think it's hurting the game in the long run.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, and Dave, before we let you go, I just wanted, to get some more insight. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the Dave Parker 39 Foundation, an organization that's focused on finding a cure for Parkinson's disease.
Well, I have a foundation called the 39 Foundation. And I got involved with Parkinson's organization about 7 years ago. And I've been doing fundraisers, golf tournaments. We raised $48,000 in October for a golf tournament. And we want to emphasize research with the dollars that we raise. And hopefully we get lucky and find a cure or something to ease the pain of Parkinson, because you never know what you're going to get. You wake up one morning and you feel perfectly normal, and you come back and wake up the next day and your legs ain't working right, and you're trembling. You got various things, just like I froze then. But this is the kind of stuff you got to deal with Parkinson.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Dave. Obviously, I hope that with the continued effort of your organization, that be able to get more people to donate and to be on board with trying to help the cause and to help those that are struggling with Parkinson's.
Well, I hope so too. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to march on and try to find a cure for this thing.
And the book is great, with comments at the start of each chapter from other baseball legends, including former Yankees Dave Winfield and Willie Randolph. Dave Parker tells an epic tale of friendship, success, failure, and redemption in his new book. Cobra is an unforgettable story of a $1 million athlete just before baseball became a $1 billion game. Pick it up, available at all major retailers. Thank you so much, Dave, for stopping by the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, and that was a great interview.
When taking public transportation, don't touch your phone. Carry hand sanitizer and use it immediately upon leaving the bus or train. Avoid touching your face. If someone is coughing or sneezing, move away. Wash your hands with soap and water as soon as possible. Limit contact with poles. If possible, avoid rush hour. Don't eat or drink on public transportation. Keep your bag off the floor or other surfaces. Avoid directly touching turnstiles. Stay up to date with the latest from your local health department and CDC.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
Well, welcome back. Here we go. Our next guest is a recording artist, a composer, percussionist, and a jazz lecturer at Lehman College. He is the go-to guy. Yeah. And he's here today to speak about how he's navigating the challenges of collaborative virtual performances and to speak about his latest project. So let's do it. Welcome to the show, Alan Molnar. Alan, welcome.
Bob, it is so great to see you again. It's been a while, and thank you for having me.
Well, yeah, I heard that you were the man to go to, and I know that for a fact.
Well, I do my best, you know.
Tell us about what you're working on. I know you have the big challenge there, navigating the challenges of collaborative virtual performances. Tell us about that.
Well, I've actually been playing online, performing music online with other musicians at other locations for, well, ever since about 2004.
Yeah.
And but the technology keeps on changing and it keeps getting better. It's still difficult to navigate much of it, but it is a really exciting, I call it a new edge in music technology because it combines the high end of technology that is required to be able to perform from different locations over the internet. But at the same time, we have to be able to play our instruments really well. In fact, I think even it's more of an issue than when you're on the same stage with people because of just the strangeness, I suppose, of the situation you're playing in. But it's incredibly exciting when it works, and when it doesn't work, well, we just keep plugging away.
I know. I was talking to the guys from Take Six, and they were having that same situation. You know, and they harmonize. They all have to be tightly knit to harmonize, moving in the same direction for that common cause. And sometimes they had a little situation with it too. So you have the technology.
Well, I do. You know, it's actually becoming more and more accessible. You know, a laptop, I have my iMac that I use. I have a good, strong internet connection, hardwired, which is, you know, one of the
Hardwired.
important parts, yes. And so that's been working really, really well. And I've been able to collaborate with people, you know, like very recently, just sometimes in testing the waters just to see if we can connect and everything's working. I've connected with people as far away as 1,300 miles. Now, 500 miles is supposed to be more or less the radius within which you can do this. But I guess on a good day, you know, if the wind is blowing in the right direction, you can extend that quite a bit. So that's something that's very, very exciting. And you know, keeping the group small, you know, it helps a lot in a lot of ways. You know, I sometimes play drums, I sometimes play vibraphone or my digital vibraphone, which you can see behind me. And all of these things work well for this, but it boils down to musicianship and connecting with musicians like we always do when we're in the same room. It's just that we're on the internet, you know, working together through the technology.
Yeah. Now you have an extensive background. Tell us about your work throughout Canada and your experiences with the Latin culture, and you've come all the way through. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, I've been very lucky in this profession. I've gotten to do a little bit of everything I've ever wanted to do. You know, I've been on Grammy and Juno, Canadian Juno award-winning albums with Nelly Furtado. I've written jingles for national brands up in Canada for a grocery store. what else have I done? Original music on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and I've gotten to teach all grade levels as a teacher from uh, elementary school through graduate school.
Yeah.
And so all of these things are really exciting. They're very interconnected, and I feel very fortunate in what my career has brought to me. And now living in New York is another exciting adventure. Being in the Bronx, being able to run an incredible festival and meet all the amazing musicians that I've always looked up to, people from the Fania All Stars and some of the jazz greats here. It's
Larry Harlow. Yeah.
I've actually had the privilege of performing with Larry 3 times. Once was in Toronto with a six-piece Latin band I was playing with. We were a real busy band. In 5 or 6 years, we played about 750 gigs. So it was one of those kinds of things. And Larry was in town performing with one of his groups, and our good friend Jane Burnett, who's a wonderful musician up in Canada, who knows Larry and is very tied into that scene as well, brought Larry and Bobby Sanabria and
Wow.
Edgehill and all these wonderful musicians, and Yomo Toro, I might add, and they sat in with us on our gig there. And then since then, he's called me a couple times while I've been in New York, and it's an amazing privilege, just unbelievable to get to play and get to know him.
Yeah. And now people can come and really learn the business a little bit more by enrolling in your class, Lehman College. Tell us about that.
Well, my jazz class and my music production classes are very closely intertwined. And, we are now, especially with the pandemic, in a situation where the technology is just being developed through the roof. It's a real hot market. And it's interesting how the technologies are really changing. For example, when I'm in my office at the college where I've got my drum set, and if I want to record something for one of my production courses, or if I want to record something on drums for my faculty recital, I usually use 7 microphones on the drum kit. Now,
wow.
I'm going to show you it's not that new, it's about 3 years old, but a new technology, which is new to me. This is a microphone system made by Yamaha that will actually record my entire drum kit. And
whoa.
It also has triggers, so I can use some model sounds on the drum kit as well, and plug and play. It's amazing.
Wait, it's a system, so it has 7 microphones connected to that bunch.
It only has 2 microphones inside,
but it picks up everything.
It picks up everything. It's got a radius that covers the entire kit, so all the cymbals and the hi-hat and tom-toms.
Oh, wow. That's great.
It all works in. I don't know how they put this together, but it's brilliant.
Technology, baby. Technology.
Yeah. And what's interesting, too, in combination with our phones, because there's software that goes with it, you can literally record yourself, video and audio, with tracks that you plug in on a USB thumb drive, and send it directly up to YouTube as a drum cover if you're so inclined. It's kind of designed for that, among other things. So it's exciting to be able to keep up with these technologies. And as I apply that to my classes, for example, some of the digital software that is available will allow one of my students, for example, if they have a fast enough internet connection, they can sit at home on their computer and record me in my office into Pro Tools or Ableton or any DAW that they're working with. And likewise, those same technologies work for remote playing together. You can have sessions where there's a bass player and a guitar player and a drummer all playing together, recording together at the same time. It's just unbelievable.
I'm enrolling in your class. New technology. Here we go.
You would be very welcome to be there.
Yeah. So, are there any articles or anything that people can look into? Or is it on your website? How can people get more information and find out more about what you're doing?
Well, I'll be posting a series of articles I've been writing over the last couple of months for Canadian Musician Magazine. And that's a nationally published magazine, still hard copy, plus online. And so I'll post my articles on my website, which is percussionstudio.com. And people are certainly welcome to visit me there and be in touch. You know, there's a link to contact me if anyone's interested in learning more about my programs at Lehman College and anything that I'm doing.
You're the greatest, man. You're the greatest.
Thank you.
People should come and if you really want to learn about the business and learn about music, you're the man. I told you, you were the go-to guy. All right. So how can we get in touch with you if we want to take a class?
Percussionstudio.com is a really good place to find me. It's probably the quickest way to find me,
Yeah.
and but also through Lehman College.
Thank you so much. Alan Molnar, recording artist, composer, and jazz lecturer, Lehman College. We thank you and appreciate you and love you. Alan, that's about it. It's funny how time flies when you're having fun. It's like a Janet Jackson song, but we've got to go. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let the choice control the chooser. Remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll see you on the radio on 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.